Hello and welcome. I'm George Coll to a new three-part series titled Yeager Ranch. And today, part one, is trying to figure out with this 10 by 19 canvas where these shapes are going to be. The mountains, the road, and the structures. We all worked on that today. After we figured out where those shapes were, then we put in value color. So it's kind of like draw by numbers. And try to make things go back, go grayer, go bluer as things go back. Keep the paints thin. All right, get outside and paint. Paint with your friends. Get critiques and keep painting. All right, let's get to today's painting. All right, bye-bye. Hello and good morning. Welcome to a new three-part series, unnamed as yet, but I'll come up with a name here shortly. And today is blocking. We want to try to cover this canvas with value color and try to get the shapes in the right place. That's the thing that we want to try to do in the next 30 minutes. I'm also expecting a telephone call, so I might have to do a cut and resplice somewhere in between if that happens. Okay, no sweat there. So I think the two main things to start with is figuring out where everything's going to be on your canvas. So I've been talking about, I'm so bad at sketches, you know, I just do the sketching right here on my canvas. And I'm trying to do the right thing and work it out on a sketchbook first, and that's what I did here. Now, I think there's the advantages of doing this. You kind of can move things around a little bit here and get it in the right place. I think the reason I've been so bad at this is I just feel comfortable in making those changes here on the canvas. But due to the fact that when I'm taping, I'm so pressed for time, I'm trying to get that thing right as soon as I get it. But anyway, every good teacher I've had talks about doing these sketches, and I'm so bad at it. But I want to at least try to tell you all that that is one of the important things that I have learned over and over again, but I don't always do it. Okay, so that being said, let's figure out where the shapes are going to be on this canvas and make a mixture. So let's start with a light gray. And of course I don't have that out on my palette. There we go. And let's get started. Light gray, a little bit of transparent oxide red. Transparent oxide red. There we go. Don't need a lot. In blocking, I don't put a lot of paint down. I keep it thin. So I'm going to start with something with, looks like a little worn out number 1 or 2 here. And I know that there's going to be like ranch houses here, a little bit left of right of center. So we're going to have a hill coming down on them. And then we have a steeper hill here. So I'm trying to have some foundation lines to get started. And I'm going, instead of having these a little sloped, I'm going to keep these pretty flat in here. And then I'm going to put the mountains up in here, make them a little bit more prevalent than they are. And this is going to curve down just a little bit, and then we'll have another hill coming in here. And those are hills. And then somewhere over here, we're going to have a road come out here and here. I'm working on a 10 by 19, I believe. So the road doesn't go, it points toward the structures, but it doesn't connect to them. It starts right below there. So I'm going to go here somewhere. And it's going to swing out. Here. And then it has an island within the road. I'm going to go to something with a little sharper edge for the buildings. So with the same, I think this one got a little dried out. Let me see if it still can come back to life. Let me see what it does. No, it's a little too far gone. Let me soak that for a few more days. All right. Look at the old Da Vinci out. It's just a real thin little worn out fella. I think it's got an edge on it. If you really look, these buildings are not too big. There's one, it has a lot of dark underneath it. I'll put some dark on one side. Then there's a great big fella that has a, I get a little ultra blue in here. A little bit more gray. And there's something with a big long roof. So two parallel lines, line across the top. There's a big old tree in between. Comes down in here, gets all these darks together. What else do we have here? We have another roof right in here somewhere. Bit of a double decker on top. And it's got a little dark in there too, right in here. Anyway, the smaller the buildings, the more it says vastness around it. So I don't want to, there's another building hidden behind some trees in here. Very small. And I'll put that in there. And looks like another structure right over in here, kind of separate. I think, with another building in front of it. Whew. A lot of this stuff is observation. You really got to see what is out there. All right, that's where the buildings are going to be, and I think I'm pretty happy with the size. They're not too big and not too small. Now, the idea I have is to have more light on this hill. This would be the lightest, this would be the next darkest, and then these guys would also kind of come in with this bluey background stuff to finish it off with these darker blues. Okay, I don't know if I can use anything out of this or not, but I'm going to just pick it up anyway and check my gun. All right, we've got 20 minutes left. Let's do some more scouting around here with. So I'm getting some transparent oxide brown, some dark gray, and I think over here we have a big old leaning fence. And over here we have fences. Taller. Lots of little fancy things here. And that'll be all we need for that. All right, now I need to go to a bigger brush. So, I've got a number 4 2025. So let's go to some ultra and yellow ochre. And let's get some tree types in here. Get a little bit more yellow ochre in here. Touch of Naples. Touch of Naples. I'm going to have to work on these buildings a little bit off camera and draw them a little bit more accurately than I did in that little quick sketch there. I'm going to put I don't know what that is, it's a hill, but I'm going to put a row of trees in here. Going to help push into, show where the big important stuff is. Okay, I'm going to go more Naples and start working on some bushes at the base of these. Let me get a little bit more viridian in there. There we go, more green, which I see along fences. The reason they are greener is because you can't get a tractor in there to do any cutting. And then we're going to put these, what are these kind of, looks like some sort of sagey type stuff in here. So we'll get more blue, more gray, more cobalt. And I'll put some down in here too. All right, so let's lighten this up just a little bit here. Get some Naples in this mixture, some white. And I want to get some warm in it, so I'm going to add some more yellow ochre, more transparent oxide red, and some light gray. A little bit of blue. Still too dark for me. Still too dark, so I've added more white. Now I want to go back to some cobalt, kind of a gray blue. I'm going to thin it down with some Gamsol. Starting to get my shoulder in there. I think I forgot to run these off the wheel there. Okay. Now we're going to add more ultra to this. More ultra. And a little bit of cerulean. White. And some Gamsol. And now we're going to go into this guy here. I think I need more Gamsol. This is kind of a stiffer brush, and it lays it down a little thin. And it really makes a lot of noise when I scrub it on the canvas. I think this has to come in at a bigger angle. And I'll make this one so now I think I need something kind of in between these two guys. So I'm going to go back to yellow ochre in here and a little bit more olive. And just try to get a little Gamsol in there to make it go a little finer. All right, that's so far. Let's see how we're doing. All right, let's go in now with some of these interesting greens we have here and start getting the foreground in. I'm going to switch over to a softer brush. Clean this up a little bit. And I'm going over to a number 4279. But I need some good greens in this thing. So I'm going to get some emerald green in here. And I'm going to add some Naples, emerald, and Naples. Some white. Okay, that should get me going. And now I'm gooping it up with some Gamsol. It's nice and soupy. Oh, that's pretty. Subtle and beautiful. And I'll bring it in. I've totally lost my fence post over on this side, but we'll get him back later. Most important thing here, big shapes, big values. Get your values in. And I think I'll put that in here too. And some in here. And a few spots in here. And now I need an even lighter value on the right side, because when I said that we wanted to try to bring some brights in on this side, that's what we're going to do. So this time, we'll put this off to the side and get all this darker surrounding stuff over here. See what we got? Kind of a nice gray. Let me get this palette here a little bit more control. I'm losing control of it. So I get the old razor blade scraper in there to give me more mixing room. All right, let's regroup with number 4 again. It's in here somewhere. And I'm coming up with a number 6, that's even better. All right, so let's get a mixing thing here, and let's go to Shiva, and let's make a big pile of Shiva, and throw some of this color we had left over into it. And now we're going to try it out. I think I need a better paper towel. And now I need to bring in the bright. You're going to go, that is bright. Yes, it is. I'll probably come back off camera and get a little bit closer surrounding these structures with a smaller brush. We'll probably finish off with getting maybe some worms in that road here. Sorry for all the beeps and noise from my phone. All right, let me get back and check that out. Oh, that's kind of wonderful. And I'll probably have to replace the fence because working around it with this big brush, I'm losing a lot of it. I want to try to get some back in here just a little bit. And now I'll get some over in here, just little bits of it. And run some over the top. Kind of unify the two values a little bit. But you can definitely tell one's dark and one is really, really light. I think depending on my time here, and I better start thinking about that road here. I've got a few more minutes I think I can spend just trying to cover up some of that white canvas I have down below. And there's a lot more value colors and shapes here that we'll get to, but this is not the time for it. Why don't you just try to get the big picture down there? Some stuff where you can get some balance. I can already tell, I think this background has to be darker just by putting in these lights here. All right, boom, boom, boom. Let's clean this up, put it to one side. My Shiva base color. And move on to the road. I really encourage you to work on glass, at least in your studio. I even try to work on glass when I'm out in the field because it's really efficient for cleaning up the base here. There's nothing down there. And once you get the razor blade on it. Okay, so let's get a little bit of transparent oxide red. Too much. White. white. All right, I'm going to go back to the number 4279. Try to get the green out of it. See, I'm really squeezing it out. I'm going to add a touch of Naples to it. Naples. I think I'm going to add some more transparent oxide red. I just like that richer color. Good mud color. All right, that is taken care of. Let's see what I can do with this sky. I think for now I'm just going to make some sort of a ominous dark sky with some blue peeking through. So I think what I'm going to start with is just some cerulean. Add a few sky spots somewhere. Added some transparent oxide, or I added some titanium white to it. And I have a little bit of blue here on this side and maybe down here. The reference doesn't help you much on telling you what's going on, but as you can probably tell, it was an overcast day. So let me get the gray mixture. I'm racing the clock right now. And I will start making mixed mixture. Got some of this gray stuff over here, so I'll mix that in. See what this looks like. I think that might be a good start. And I'm going to change brushes to a bigger brush. And this time I have a number 10. Slop it up here. Oh, it's too green. Get some gray in here. Gray. There we go. Not bad for a start. And that'll get us started. Yeah, it's a little rough, but that's how you start a painting. One way to start a painting. What I'm doing that's more conventional is I come in with big shapes and thin paint. So that's the more conventional way to get started. And I'll probably come in with some lighter stuff. Lighten up that sky before this painting is over with. But that's going to give us a sense tomorrow when we start in on part 2 as to how dark to make these values, how light to make them. And this is really going to be, I think, a fun painting. All right, nice long shape here. Thanks for coming by for part 1. of so far unnamed painting, and I'll see you in part 2. Thanks for getting started with this painting. All right.